pack. I'm with you until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you to John Moss for the news. And look at that weather. I mean, honestly, it's absolutely incredible. You just need to take a look out the window for the weather forecast at the moment. Well, I have been joined in the studio by the one and only. It is Mr. Carl Fogarty MBE, 53 years old. I'm not sure if he's quite 52 years old. Oh, no, that's not a good start, is it? 7 times world champion and world superbike racing legend. Carl has won, well, Carl or Foggy? Is it Carl or Foggy?
Either to you, Joe.
Okay, we'll stick with Foggy for now then. Okay. Foggy has won 59 races in 12 seasons with a huge success in the Isle of Man TT, breaking the lap record at 18 minutes in a speed of 1:23.61 on a Yamaha 750. Also winner of the 1985 lightweight Newcomers Manx Grand Prix and went on to win 3 TT races. Welcome back to the Isle of Man.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Always good to be back. Missed a few years, so yeah, it's one of them kind of special kind of places that it means a lot to me. It always has done. All my childhood memories are really at the Isle of Man, you know, just follow my dad racing, that kind of thing. Always wanted to win the TT, then obviously move on to bigger things like the World Championships, you know, but a very emotional place to me, a very spiritual kind of place is the TT. When you land here and get the sort of goosebumps on the arms and the back of the neck, and you cross Ferry Bridge and say hello to the ferries, and yeah, it's a lovely place. I really love it, and I missed a couple of years, but it's good to be back again. Yeah.
You were over in 2007, weren't you, for the century anniversary of the TT? And I read in your book, actually, we're going to talk a little bit later about your book on the show, and you said how much it does really bring some great memories back, and also the conversations in your head perhaps about whether you would compete again in the TT, but even at the classic TT.
Yeah, like you say, I came back in 07 for the Millennium. They got every kind of famous rider from all around the world, like Valentino, everyone was here, Agostini and Phil Reed, and I did that. And the last time I came to the Isle of Man was when I did, you know, that race of the year, race of the century as they called it, with Steve Islop in '92. So that was my goodbye to the TT was then in '92 really. So I'd not been back since I came back in 07, so which is crazy really. I don't know why that was. And when I did come back in 07, I thought, oh my God, I have missed this place so much. I've no idea. I cannot believe I've not been back in all those years and doing the parade and leading it off and stuff. And it just brought it all back to me, all my childhood memories and memories of you know, of racing around here. Some epic battles with Steve trying to win the races and the lap record. And ever since then, I've always tried to get back. It means that much to me. But it's the one race I look forward to. It's the only race I look forward to, if I'm honest, in the year. Don't bother about the short circuits too much, don't really look forward to them, but the one event that I do and the one place I love to come to is the Isle of Man, and thankfully I've made it over this year after a very, very busy March, April and May. I'm here.
It is great to have you here, and I remember seeing you a couple of years ago, as you said, when you were over, and you had your mates as well, and you had such a great time.
Yeah, you know what, it's something I kept saying that one of these years I'm going to do this, and in 2015 it was a busy year again. I've just done a TV show which everybody kind of remembers me from now, and won that, so it made me really, really busy in a good way, you know. And I just said, look, I want a week off. I booked this house, just come out of Milltown on the TC circuit. I want all my mates to come out and just said to the manager, look, keep that clear, that 10 days. And I had the best sort of 7, 8, 10 days ever. You know, I had them all coming out on a rotation system, 3 or 4 mates in, 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 mates out, then 3 or 4 mates coming in. And by the end of the week, I was absolutely knackered, to be honest, because most of them like a drink, and got the barbecue going, and obviously the racing was great. The weather was great as well, and I think by the Thursday, Friday, I did some live TV stuff. I think it must have been on the Friday for the senior. Everyone said, you look knackered, you look absolutely, and sounded terrible, but it's after a week of drinking beer and just chilling out and partying with, you know, one of my mates and just watching the racing, and a lot of them hadn't even been before, and they just loved it. Absolutely fantastic week it was, and I need to do that again. What
about your neighbour getting lost?
That was funny, that. He twice got, if I ever mentioned that in the book actually, he twice got brought back by the police in a nice way, you know, because they recognised him early on the night being with me. And I went home. I had enough, because they come out at the end of the week, and I had enough by the end of the week. I can't drink anyway. 2 or 3 pints, I'm pissed. Oh, sorry, I'm drunk anyway. So he kind of got lost, and the policeman recognised and said, "Look, you're with Foggy, aren't they?" Went, "Yeah, but I don't know which house I'm living at." So getting here, son, we know where he's staying. So I think they brought him back, and he got a bit fed up and bored, and went back out again and got drunk, having a few drinks, and got lost again, and then got brought back by the same policeman. So it was very funny, yeah. But that was my neighbour. He was a certain character. He is.
It's quite handy being famous at times like that, really, isn't it?
I guess it was for him. Otherwise, he could have been sleeping I don't know, under a hedge all night. But it was all right. It was all good fun. But that's what this place is like. You know, the police, everybody. It's just like a community spirit, family feel to it all. Everybody kind of helps everybody, even if they're a little bit drunk and a little bit lost.
It has been a great atmosphere here at the Isle of Man TT. We are live on Manx Radio TT Facebook page with Foggy, Carl Fogarty MBE, so do make sure that you leave any questions that you would like me to get answered by Foggy. We'll go to a break after this and you'll be able to get those questions answered. So let's go back to your career now. People perhaps want to talk about your racing career, and within World Superbikes we'll look at first. 1991, race for Honda, finished 7th overall. Had a tricky year, I believe, in 92.
Well, 91 was tricky in some ways. We were on a really uncompetitive bike then. The RC30 was probably 3 or 4 years past, well, 2 or 3 years past its sell-by date. It was a bike that came out in 88, so I was up against factory Ducatis, Kawasaki's and Yamahas, and really I only had one guy I could gauge myself off, and that was a 2-time world champion called Fred Merkel, who was on the same bike. So I actually beat Fred in the championship, but I was only 7th or 8th in the championship. You know, it was a difficult year on a very uncompetitive bike, and nobody really wanted to know for the 92 really, so which annoyed me because I knew I could beat these guys given the right kind of machinery, you know, but when you've only got your 8th and 9th to show for in the championship, and even when I came back to Britain I was struggling with the crazy rules that there were in Britain back then, with everybody running all sorts of bikes. The RC30 was really struggling, and I was on it, and that was a bit of an unfortunate year really. So in 92 I kind of had to go and spend my own money that I'd made, I guess, from racing with Honda for 2 or 3 years in Britain, TT and that kind of stuff, from the World Superbikes. And buy my own Ducati, which was the best bike you could probably buy, and go racing with as a privateer, and won the second race. And everybody went wow, and even myself a little bit was shocked. So I think it's the only time it's ever been done, and even since then it's never been done that a privateer went and bought a bike and win a world championship race. And then that got everybody sort of standing up and taking notice of me for the rest of the year. And obviously did really well. I was regularly thrown in the backside of all the factory guys that year, and then obviously signed a factory contract with Ducati in 93. I mean, it was a funny year in 92 because I was racing World Superbike. I did the TT, so I was like, you know, almost won the TT race, set a new record, and then the week after I won a World Superbike race. So, which again, something you'll probably never see happen again, really, in racing.
A lot of privateers at the Isle of Man TT, I know, will have a huge respect for you for what you did there for winning the race as a privateer, as you said, and there's a lot of money that does go into it. 93, you had a battle with Scott Russell for the title. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was my first year as a factory rider. I was probably under pressure a little bit, put myself under a bit of pressure, and I was fast that year. I was very, very fast, but I was inconsistent. I crashed quite a few times and handed in the championship really, but it started off this relationship, I guess. It's two riders who really wanted to win, and like two boxers building it up for a fight who hated each other. Yeah, it was in Superbike. We're just taking off, going through a new era, really, golden era as they call it now, I guess. When Sky TV got hold of it, and yeah, they were doing adverts with us and all sorts. And the season was, you know, really fast and competitive. But like I said, I won about 11, 12 races that year. I think Scott won 4, and he won the championship by about 27 points. I lost because if I didn't win, I crashed, sort of thing. So I was a little bit, you know, a bit young in the head, I guess, in some ways, a bit too excitable and trying to win, and I didn't quite win the championship, and I should have done, really. You
just answered my question, I think, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, how would you describe yourself as perhaps a racer in your younger years then?
Just somebody who rode with his heart, really, not with his head, to be honest. That was the thing. I should have, you know, consistency wins you championships. I learned that the year after. Obviously, that's, you know, the mistakes I made in 93. I did learn from them and put it right in 94. I was fast in 94, but you know, if I couldn't win the race, I'd back it up with a second or a third, a bit like you see Jonathan Ray doing these days, or myself in 99. But you know, to win championships, you got to finish the races. So that's what I learned from 93, just to stay on the bike and pick up seconds and thirds when I can't win, and the world championship was mine.
You mentioned in 94 there that you did win the title, and you also won it with a broken wrist.
Yeah, it was one of them seasons again. You know, I won the first round at Donington on a brand new bike, which again I was a little bit shocked about because the bike didn't really suit my style at that point. And then the second round, I fired myself off the thing and broke my wrist in Hockenheim, so to miss that weekend of racing. And there was a 3-week gap, and they just about got me on the bike and a race with the cast on for the second round. And I did pick up some points, although the gearbox went in the first race because I couldn't change clutch properly. Change gear properly, sorry. But then I used a spur back in the second race and finished 5th. So, but yeah, you know, you get these things thrown at you. You know, luckily some of the guys were inconsistent during that year as well. But yeah, had a broken wrist, came back from that and went on to win the championship with the very last race at the other side of the world, which was very sort of relieving, very emotional at the time.
Quite an incredible career you really have had, because then 95 again you won the title, 96 you went back with Honda, 97 back to Ducati and second overall, 98 won the title and 99 won the title. I mean, it's absolutely incredible as a career looking back on it. What are your best memories from your days at World Superbike?
I think the days when you're coming out to 100, well, in Brands Hatch 125,000, whatever it was on that race day, was just ridiculous. Even in 1995 when with the Sky TV thing and me winning the World Championship in 94 and drawing the curtain back in the motorhome and seeing 65,000 people in Brands Hatch in 94, 95, it was just, them's my memories, and being able to win for all those fans, that was what it was all about for me, really. If I didn't win, I really took it home. I always took it personally, and was really people around me at home got it in the neck, really, because I wanted to win for the fans so much. It hurt really if I didn't win, but the memories are so good from winning the doubles at Donington and Brands Hatch, and then obviously the great following New South around Europe, and especially Assen. That was it was just crazy. So yeah, just winning the big races in my home country and Europe, in like Assen, and even Italy as well, with the big Italian following I had. So it was great days.
And then 2000 you retired from racing. You did have a racing incident at Phillip Island and you suffered multiple injuries, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a shame in some ways. It's not the way I wanted to go out. I don't know how many more years I would have carried on for, but to have an injury that forces you to retire, you don't really have a choice about it. So I was okay about it at the time. I was in some ways I felt relieved that pressure, that expectation had gone. Everybody, everyone expected me to win. I expected to win, and to have that pressure of it not being there anymore and retire from racing. I was kind of relieved for the first year or so. I think I didn't really miss it at all. I was kind of glad it was all over in some ways. I didn't have to go out and try and win again and put all that pressure on myself, And it was just everybody else who was kind of upset about it, really. But then as the years went on, after a year or two, I thought, God, I really miss it now, But yeah, I mean, my injuries are okay now. I couldn't get back on Superbike and ride around Donington Park after 5 laps would be in agony. But for doing most things in life, I'm fine,
I presume Michaela was quite happy when you decided also to retire, and Michaela being your wife.
Yeah, I'm sure she was. Deep down, I can't remember now, to be fair. But I think for her travelling around again, it's a lot of pressure on them, a lot of stress on them, from the good times you have and the bad times you have, really. So travelling around the world for 15 years doing that. I'm sure she was glad it was all over, and obviously she was here when I was doing the TT and stuff. So that was a lot of a nerve, sort of biting fingernails and nerves for her, really. So, but yeah, I'm sure she was quite pleased in some ways.
We have got so much to talk to you about, and already we're running out of time, because I wanted to talk to you about managing a team and
boring.
Much more. But I just said no, we're not talking about that. That's boring. But also the fact that you're a patron of the local charity Northwest Blood Bikes, and also you're the ambassador for Bike Sure Insurance as well.
Yeah, I've been involved with Bike Sure for a few years. And funny enough, I've just actually received an award from the NSPCC as well. I went down to London on Thursday, and I just invited, because I'm like an ambassador for NSPCC. I've done a lot of charity work for them in the last 15 years, and I just got awarded the Volunteer of the Year at the Childhood Awards on Thursday. That was a big shock to me. I felt a bit humbled by it all, a bit. Sometimes I feel a bit embarrassed. You don't do enough, but obviously someone somewhere thinks I'm doing quite a lot, and so I received an award from Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, I think it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've done quite a bit when I can. I'm doing a walk across Patagonia in November for the NSPCC. So I'll try and do my bit.
Lots of people wouldn't know this about you, Foggy, would they? Because I mean, it's not like you're quite social media heavy, and you're being quite humble. So I mean, it's great to have you here to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Where's my halo? Just put it back on.
Okay, well, shortly we're going to take a break, and we're going to be bringing you up to date with what Foggy has been doing the last couple of years, and also because he is here to talk about his new book, The World According to Foggy, not Foggy. So we are going to be talking about that after the break. Keep your comments coming in on Manx Radio TT Facebook page. We'll be back with you just after the break.